Keeps control for Thompson. Pass receiving's wide open underneath in the basket. Great pass.
Backs down, now kicks out, up top to the left side, Caden Dahl. Dahl hesitates, then takes the three and knocks it home good. Dahl to get the turn. Carr trying to keep those legs underneath, then Cassette gets him down, and there's the pin.
Rebounded by Kendra Severson. Severson, here comes Bevins back the other way. Bevins, little contact, roll it in, good for Elena Bevins, and we're tied.
Through and Zeller with an excuse me bump, and here goes Sem for takeoff.
Alston Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Hey, welcome. We are back here live from the Fargo Dome for the semifinals of your North Dakota State Class B Dual Team Tournament Championship here on yourliveevent.com. Just a reminder that this broadcast of the state tournament game has been authorized by a special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association and brought to you by audio only on yourliveevent.com. Here with our Irie Insurance pregame show. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service you deserve at Irie Insurance. They cover it all from home, auto, crop, commercial, and benefits insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote here for your semifinal dual team tournament action. You have the Lisbon Broncos taking on the South Border Mustangs. That's your number 2, number 3 teams seated in the dual tournament facing each other in the semifinals. So number 2 Lisbon Broncos advanced by a win in the first round, 57-12 over Kenmare Bullbills. And South Border advanced by a score of 43-23 over New Salem Almont Hostings. And then the number 1 seeded Velva Aggies, they defeated the Carrington Cardinals 37-19, and they faced Northern Lights. Northern Lights defeated Killdeer by a score of 43-27. That was in the quarterfinal round action. So your semifinal teams here in this round are Lisbon and South Border, and Velva and Northern Lights. And going into your consolations, just to catch you up on where we're at, we had those consolation duels, the non-winners of that quarterfinals, with Kenmare Bullbills facing New Salem Almont. New Salem defeated Kenmare Bullbills by a score of 47-30. And Carrington faced Killdeer. Killdeer defeated the Carrington Cardinals by a score of 40-36. And they will wrestle for 5th place later today at the dual team tournament. Kenmare Bullbills wrestling in Carrington for 7th place. That also is later today here at 2:30 p.m. Those duels expected to start, placing round duels, along with that 3rd place duel at 2:30 p.m. So the non-winners of these semifinal duels will compete again at 2:30 p.m. Your championship duel scheduled for 4 p.m. here at the Fargo Dome. And your duel today in the semifinals, those matches will start at 107 pounds. So first round quarterfinal matches started at 285. These next second round semifinal matches will start at 107 pounds. And then your placing round matches starting at 114, along with the championship duel at 114 pounds. So starting that off at 107 pounds today, here with your Irie Insurance pregame, pre-match, pre-duel show, going over your American Crystal Sugar Company lineups. Live the sweet life with American Crystal Sugar, the great careers, quality products, and grow our own crystalsugar.com. Visit that, crystalsugar.com. This is part of your American Crystal Sugar Company starting lineups. And looking at the Lisbon Broncos starting lineup at 107 pounds, we have Ian Anderson, an 8th grader, leading things off today for the Broncos. State qualifiers, Cruz Ranke, a 5th place state finisher, also an 8th grader at 114, 121 pounds. Is sophomore Grayson Lyons, a state qualifier, 127 pounds, state champion Cashton Waitson, a senior, 133-pound, 3rd place state finisher. Noah Anderson, a sophomore, 139-pound senior, state qualifier Jordan Dick, 145-pound, 6th place state finisher, sophomore Ryan Eng, 152-pound state champion, a senior, Blaze Ranke, and 160-pound 3rd place state finisher, a sophomore Eli Lyons, 172-pound 3rd place finisher Mike Nelson, a senior, 189-pound state qualifier, an 8th grader Matt Schwab, 215-pound senior Drew Anderson, and 285-pound 7th place state finisher and Aiden Hinkle. And that's your starting lineup for the Lisbon Broncos. Also in the tournament for the Broncos are Lane Sogato, Ryan Olson, Riley Lucina, Brock Lyons, and Weston Clausen here representing the Broncos at the North Dakota State Class B dual team tournament. Broncos advanced with that dual win 57-12 over the South Border Mustangs. They opened that up at 285 pounds with a forfeit to Aiden Hinkle. And then Ian Anderson picked up the pin at 107 pounds over Matthew Harris. 114 pounds Cole Mogren defeated Cruz Ranke by decision 8-3. 121 pounds Connor Mellon over Grayson Lyons by decision 5-0. State champ Cashton Waitson finally answers back for the Broncos with the win by fall in a minute 20 over Gage Holter. 133 Noah Anderson received a forfeit. Jordan Dick won by fall over Travis Birch in 305. 145 pound state champion for Kimmer Bull Bills. William Cook defeated Weston Clausen by fall in 128. And 152-pound Blaze Ranke, state champion for the Broncos, win by fall over Lincoln Spear. 160 pounds Eli Lyons, third-place state finisher for the Broncos over Landon Spear, state qualifier for Kimmer Bull Bills by fall in 146. 172 pounds Mike Nelson received a forfeit. 189 Matt Schwab in a battle with Tucker Tim, won by decision 2-1 in that first round, first dual action, the quarterfinals. And Drew Anderson received a forfeit for the Broncos. That final dual score was 57-12 between the Lisbon Broncos and Kenmare Bull Bills. I tried to recap that duel between Southport and New Salem Almont. Hard-fought duel up through 160 pounds before finally the Southport Mustangs were able to break that one open. That duel started out 285 pounds, where C.L. Weinberger for New Salem Almont winning by fall over Cole Nitschke. So a couple state place winners going at it, with Weinberger coming out on top with the win by fall. Put New Salem up early in that one, 6-0. Southport answered back with a couple wins with Blake Goebel over Chase Beaker by tech fall 19-2, and then Ryland Vetter won by fall over Hayes Weinberg at 114 pounds. So Ryland Vetter moving up, wrestling at 114. 121 pounds, New Salem answers back with Will Mossbrucker defeating Liam Lepp by fall in 303. 127, Charlie Irwin, state runner-up this year over Brody Michelson by a major decision, 12-2. 133, Tristan Lepp placing fourth in the state tournament over Hudson Buckles of New Salem Almont by fall in 450. 139 pounds, Ethan Meyer of New Salem Almont over Riker Vetter by decision 6-5. Carson Glazeman for Southporter has started to get things back rolling for Southporter over Colton Beaker by tech fall 18-3. 152 pounds, Brody Hoffman, state runner-up over Clayton Hines by fall in 55 seconds. Cole Stock, state place winner over Gavin Enwich, also state plaintiffs winner for New Salem Almont by decision 5-2. Jace Nitschke, state runner-up for Southport over Matthew Franciere of New Salem Almont by fall in 56 seconds. Brock Norton, New Salem Almont over Taylor Meyer by major decision 12-1. And Southport closed out that duel with a win by fall. 215-pound Shane Nitschke over Isaiah Bullhorn, Isaiah Bullum of New Salem Almont. And that was your final dual score, with New Salem Almont defeating with Southport defeating New Salem Almont in the quarterfinal round, 43-23. Here with your Ira Insurance pregame, pre-match show, and your starting lineups for New Salem Almont at 107 pounds. They have Ryland Vetter. 114 pounds, Blake Goebel. 121 pounds is Liam Lepp. 127 pounds, Brody Michelson. 133 pounds, Tristan Lepp. 139 pounds, Riker Vetter. 145, Carson Glazeman. 152, Brody Hoffman. 160, Cole Stock. 172, Jace Nitschke. 189, Brock Norton. 215 pounds, Shane Nitschke. And 285 is Cole Nitschke. Starting lineup for Southport Mustangs. Also able to substitute in and out wrestlers. So might take a while for us to get those starting wrestlers of those matches out to you as the wrestlers report into the head table. And then they have to go through the list of wrestlers and kind of pair them up and get things situated as far as track wrestling. So you're listening to your Ira Insurance pregame show and your American Crystal Sugar starting lineups here in semifinal round action from the Fargo Dome and your North Dakota State Class B dual team tournament. This is sports announcer guy Brent Dick with the call today. And we will step away, take a word from our sponsors, come back, and hopefully have the duels and the wrestlers on the mat out here for your semifinal action. You're starting at 1 p.m.
Hillsborough Drug and Gift is your area full-service pharmacy with prescription and over-the-counter medications, cough, cold, and flu medications, health and beauty items, and more. They offer mail-out service and free delivery in Hillsborough and Halstead. And remember, you can now text Hillsborough Drug anytime for your prescription refills at 701-636-5231. There's always something new with a great selection of seasonal items, gifts, and cards for all occasions at Hillsborough Drug and Gift. They're always happy to help you, and they thank you for your business at Hillsborough Drug and Gift.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
The Hillsboro Vets Club thanks you for your support of their activities and events. Stop in and to check out their new menu. Enjoy the Vets Club appetizers every Wednesday from 5 till 7. And as I've said many times, they have the best roasted chicken around. Enjoy roasted chicken every Saturday from 5:30 till 7:30. Get there early because sometimes it's gone early because it is the best roasted chicken. Fries and coleslaw also available with this meal every Saturday. Dine in or take out. The Hillsboro Vets Club.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career, doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
This is Tim Kazette, your local Golden Harvest Seeds dealer. During these winter months, as you think ahead to the spring planting season, I remind you there is strong yielding varieties of Golden Harvest beans and corn available for spring delivery. There's discounts offered. Please ask me about Golden Advantage deferred payment options or any cash payment discounts. Call me, Tim Kazette, at 701-430-0877, and thank you for planting Golden Harvest seeds on your farm.
You'll fall in love with carefree living when you move to Benedictine Mission Court in Ada. Sign a lease this month and get your third month of rent free. Not only that, Benedictine will waive your community fee. That's a value of over $4,000. Benedictine Mission Court offers housekeeping, 3 meals a day, common areas, on-site spiritual care and worship services, and indoor access to Essentia Health Clinic Ada. Call today to schedule a tour, 218-784-5250. Benedictine Mission Court in Ada.
Hey, welcome back here, liveevent.com, here for your semifinal action in North Dakota State Class B dual team tournament. To get you caught up or catch you up on the Class A side, they're still wrestling down there in their consolation round between Fargo Davies and Central Cass. Looking at your quarterfinal action on the Class A side, we had Bismarck defeating Central Cass in the first round, 67-3. Fargo Davies and Dickinson squared off. Dickinson defeated Fargo Davies by a score of 51-18. That's your semifinal duel in Class A. Your other semifinal duel features West Fargo Cheyenne out of the East region. They defeated Bismarck Century 32-30, and then Williston over Devils Lake 52-18. So Cheyenne and Williston squaring off in the other semifinal duel for the Class A in the Boys State Class A dual team tournament. So Central Cass and Fargo Davies still battling that out. Looks like a 35-17 lead for Fargo Davies over Central Cass. And that's it. That's a win for Fargo Davies. So Fargo Davies will move on in the consolation rounds. They'll wrestle for 5th place. They wrestle Bismarck Century on that consolation side of the bracket. That's Fargo Davies defeating Central Cass. And then Bismarck Century defeated Devils Lake 52-21. That's on the Class A side. Getting over to Class B with the state dual semifinals. So those teams and wrestlers out on the mats. Indian Anderson, Ryland Vetter squaring off for your semifinal between the Lisbon Broncos and the South Border Mustangs. And that concludes our Ivy Insurance pregame show. Still a little momentary pause as the officials report into the table. So mat number 8, we have Isaiah Hackman and Bodie Henderson out at 107 pounds. Another semifinal duel between Northern Lights and Velva. Now Anderson and Vetter. That match underway on mat number 7. Still starting these duels. In the semifinals at 107 pounds, their placing round duel starting at 114. We also have our girls consolation and semifinals duels going on. That's simultaneous with the boys. So Vetter and Anderson have a stalemate. Back to neutral restart. Minute 29 on the clock between Vetter and Anderson. Broncos and the Mustangs dueled twice this season. Regular season, the Broncos defeated South Border 42-26, picked up that win by decision 3-0 lead for the Broncos at 107 pounds and rattled off 5 pins and kind of steamrolled the Mustangs in that duel. Caught them by surprise. Broncos came out of that Christmas break stronger than ever. 42-26 win for the Broncos in that duel. And then defeated the Mustangs once again 31-30 in the Southeast Sub-Region Dual Tournament. But here for the state tournament, this is where it counts. For the state dual team championship, here's Vetter and Anderson. They roll it out for a restart down to 55 seconds remaining in the first period. And Bodie Henderson working for the fall over Isaiah Hackman on mat number 8 at 107 pounds. He has a double armbar locked up on Hackman on the edge of the mat. He sits into it. Puts a lot of pressure on those arms. Anderson up over the top of Vetter. Vetter working underneath, trying to hit that dump. It blocks the outside leg. Anderson goes to the ankle, and Vetter trying to turn the corner, breaks. Vetter had a momentarily going to his hip. Anderson spins around behind. Vetter going up over the top of Anderson. They roll through to the edge of the mat. Anderson gets those hips back up, and they roll out of bounds for a restart. Here for Anderson and Vetter. 22 seconds on the clock in the first period. So on the restart, Anderson goes into Vetter. Vetter drops down. Anderson with the underhook on the near side. Vetter just clinging on above the elbow, going deep on the elbow. Anderson goes front headlock, trying to turn the corner on Ryland Vetter. Maybe going to that second period scoreless between Ian Anderson and Ryland Vetter. Ryland Vetter, state place winner for the South Border Mustangs. Anderson, state qualifier, knocked out in the blood round. Vetter off the whistle. Anderson tries to stand up, little tripod. Vetter's able to break him down. Anderson's going to roll over the top on Vetter, catches him on his back. Now Anderson and Vetter in a scramble. 2-point near fall for Vetter. He goes up 2-0. Anderson spins out behind, gets around 2-point reversal for Ian Anderson on Ryland Vetter. Now we're tied up at 2 in the second period. Anderson starting in the bottom position here with Ryland Vetter, tied up at 2. Vetter tries to stand up. Anderson has the armbar hooked up on Ryland Vetter, going to the armbar. Vetter sits out. Anderson just trying to get behind him. And Anderson now behind Vetter, still trying to stick in that armbar down to minute 11 and minute 10 in the first period. We're tied up at 2. Isaiah Hackman survives that pinning combination by Bodie Henderson, gets into the second period, minute 11 on the clock. 7-0 lead for Bodie Henderson over Isaiah Hackman. And Anderson, Vetter tries to stand up. Anderson chops the wrist and takes Vetter back down to the mat. Mat return, goes 2-on-1, now catches the far wrist up over the top of Ryland Vetter. Down to 40 seconds remaining, and it's in the second period. 2-2s are score. That's at 107 pounds. Opening matches in the semifinal duels. The North Dakota State Class B dual tournament on yourliveevent.com. Your audio broadcast only. And Vetter working a reversal on Anderson, catches his head. Anderson trying to up with the cradle, trying to roll Vetter over. Vetter's going to try to catch Anderson on his back. Here's Anderson and Vetter in a scramble with 7 seconds on the clock. Vetter rolls Anderson over. In the final 2 seconds off the clock here. It's a 2 reversal in near fall. So 7-2 going into the third period between Anderson and Vetter. Vetter chooses bottom position. So 5-point lead for Ryland Vetter, 107 pounds with Anderson. At the whistle, Vetter kind of hunkers down here. Goes back over the top with Anderson. Anderson spins back around behind Vetter. Vetter trying to pass the wrist over the head. Anderson's going to grab the ankle, gets Vetter down on his hip. Vetter spins back around, back to his base. Here now Henderson and Hackman going at it. 2-point reversal for Bodie. Henderson has the 10-0 lead on mat 8. Vetter still trying to work that arm on Anderson. 7-2 is your score. Anderson down by 5 in the third period. Anderson working that back ankle on Vetter. Vetter still hanging on to the arm. And down to minute 9, 7-2 lead for Ryland Vetter over Ian Anderson. Vetter tripods up on Anderson. Anderson now kind of digs his knee in the side, gets Vetter broke back down, puts in the armbar once again. And Vetter wings down. Once again on Anderson. Anderson goes back with 40 seconds remaining in the third period. And Anderson working underneath. Now goes back out front on Vetter, gets him down to his hip. And Ryland Vetter hip ice back around, spins out of bounds for a restart. 7-2 is your score with 30 seconds on the clock. We're in the third period. A 7-2 lead for Ryland Vetter. Able to catch Ian Anderson. Anderson had the cradle locked up. Grabs his head, throws him over for the 5-point move at the end of the second period. And now a caution on bottom. So caution going against Green. And here's the final 20 seconds as Vetter's going to try to spin out behind a 1-point escape here. Anderson up on top. Going to go inside, work the leg of Ryland Vetter. 7-2 is still the score. No change of position for Ryland Vetter and Ian Anderson. Down to the final 5 seconds. Anderson really pushing in on the inside cradle, near side cradle, whatever you want to call it here. And that's the final score. Win by decision, 7-2, Anderson and Vetter. So Ryland Vetter with the win by decision. Southporter takes the early 3-0 lead in the duel here, starting at 107 pounds. So that score, 7-2, your final in that match at 107 pounds. Ryland Vetter with the win. That 31-30 duel, that was a win by fall for Vetter over Salgado. That first duel, Anderson took that one by decision. That was an early 3-0 lead. Now, Cruz Ranke steps on the mat. Returning state place winner, 5th place in the state tournament. So Hackman and Henderson still going at it. And Ranke locks up on Jared Schilling. Ranke trying the big throw on Schilling right away here. Now Schilling and Ranke going at it. And Schilling knows Ranke's looking for the big move, big throw. Has a couple wins by fall over Jared Schilling this year. Well, that's in the first period. Wrestlers working collar ties between Jared Schilling and Cruz Ranke. And one thing in these duels, anything can happen. Sometimes these seeded wrestlers, these state place winning wrestlers, they'll go down to the unseeded or state qualifiers in these duels. Just never know. A lot of excitement building here inside the Fargo Dome. The semifinal match with Southporter has the 3-0 lead in the duel under Tim Kazet seed sales scoreboard, Golden Harvest seed sales scoreboard. That's a 3-0 lead in the duel. And Schilling's going to drop down to Ranke. Ranke goes front headlock, locks up a cradle on Schilling, going to bowl him over. Here's Cruz Ranke. He has Schilling going to his back. Ranke's going to lock it up. Schilling doing what he can to fight off here. Here's Ranke back with the cradle. And the wrestlers roll out of bounds. So Schilling doing what he can. I'm sure the coach said, whatever you do, don't get pinned in this duel. That looks like the way he's wrestling right now here for Jared Schilling. Ranky with the 2-point takedown now, 30 seconds on the clock. Now Keenan Gores, Alex Lair going out. Northern Lights with the 4-0 lead in that semifinal duel, take the early lead. Gores scores the first 2 points. He's up 2-0 in that duel at 114 pounds. Ranky's up in this duel 2-0 with 15 seconds here over Jared Schilling. Ranky trying to work underneath. Chicken wing on the far side. Schilling goes belly down. Ranky working an armbar with 5 seconds here in the first period. He's up 2-0. Yeah, Schilling broke belly down as time expires. 2-0 lead for Cruz Ranky. So Schilling's choice, he's going to choose top position, 2-0. Doesn't want to put his wrestler underneath Cruz Ranky. He's going to go on top. And off the whistle. Here Ranky with the little stand-up. Schilling cracks down over the top of Ranky. Ranky goes inside with the single. Going to try to elevate and turn the corner here on Jared Schilling. Ranky has Schilling up, potentially dangerous called. Two-0 lead for Cruz Ranky on the restart. Minute 46 on the clock. That's on mat number 7, Class B semifinal. Number 2, Lisbon's versus number 3, South Border. Ranky back up to his feet off the whistle, scores 1 point. The loss of control. Goes into a front headlock again. Works the cradle on Schilling. Going to try to run this over. Here, Ranky's tightening this one up. Rolls Schilling over. Those shoulders flat to the mat. Cruz Ranky wins by fall. Broncos take the lead 6-3. Ranky over Schilling by fall. Broncos go up in the duel by 3 points. It'll be a back and forth battle. Now Grayson Lyons steps on the mat for the Broncos. So South Border opens up with the win by decision. At 107 pounds, Ranky and Schilling going out there. Ranky with the win by fall puts the Broncos up in the duel 6-3. Here, Alex Lear, Keenan Gores, still 2-0 lead for Gores. And Lair in the top position. They roll out of bounds for a restart. That's on mat number 8 semifinal between Velva and Northern Lights. Here's Grayson Lyons, Liam Lepp wrestling this last match. It was a decision, narrow decision for Lyons over Lepp in that duel at the Southeast sub-region. And Lepp in here trying to hit an outside single shot on Lyons. Lyons has to sprawl down with Lepp. Lepp back up to his feet. Adjusts the headgear back to the center of the mat here with Grayson Lyons. The Lyons and Lepp going at it. 6-3 dual lead for Broncos. Lyons little snatch at the ankle. Well, Lepp backs up again. Lyons takes the shot. Lyons working the head of Liam Lepp. And Lepp and Lyons on the edge of the mat. Lyons shoots in on Lepp. Lepp backs out of bounds. Lyons pushing the pace here in the first period. 44 seconds on the clock. Here, Golden Harvest, Tim Kajed, Seed Sale scoreboards. Lisbon up in the duel, 6-3. And Lepp and Lyons locked up in collar ties. Lyons pushed that action in the first minute, 20. You're working into Lepp now. Now works the collar ties. Things kind of slowed down to 10 seconds in the first period. Wrestlers still up on their feet, neutral position. Here's Lyons and Lepp going to the end of the first period, scoreless, down to 5 seconds. Alex Lear, Keenan Gores. Gores grabs a 5-0 lead. So Northern Lights is up in this match, 5-0. They lead the duel 4-0. That was a major decision win for Bodie Henderson at 107 pounds over Isaiah Hackman. And off the whistle, here's Tristan Lepp. Lepp stands up. Lyons in the bottom position, stands up, hip pipes back around with Lepp, drops down the leg on Lyons. Lyons Dives back down into the mat. Stands up again on the edge. Lepp goes back, tries to spike the back ankle. Lions working hands. Lepp drags him back down. 1:30 on the clock. Here for Lepp and Lions in the second period. Lepp kind of grabs that back ankle, has the back ankle spike. Lions finally able to clear that back foot. Hip ice out, tripods up, turns into Lepp here, trying to peel the hand on the leg. Lepp drops down. Lions with the 1-point escape. Now 1-0 is your score. In the second period, 1-0 lead for Grayson Lions. 1:10 on the clock. A 1-0 lead for Lions. Lepp blocking out, has the wrist. Lions with the collar tie. Down to 54 seconds, now 53 seconds remaining in the period. Lions trying to work a 2-on-1 with Lepp. Going to snap down on the head. The Grayson Lions working, tapping the head of Liam Lepp back to the center of the mat. That's with 35 seconds left. Or I should say Lions drop down, tries another ankle pick on Lepp. Lepp takes a step back. Lions back, working the head and arm of Liam Lepp. Lepp backs up again. And a little arm drag down by Lepp as Lions reached in, timed it up nicely, but Lions drops down, trying to double up on Liam Lepp here with 15 seconds. Lions trying to turn the corner, goes over the top of Lepp. Lepp trying to pass the leg of Lions. We got a scramble. Lions is going to catch Lepp, spins the corner, 2-point takedown for Grayson Lions, goes up in the match, 3-0 on Liam Lepp going into the third period. 3-0 lead for Grayson Lions. Lepp hits the nice arm drag. Coach looks over, Lepp looks over in the coach's corner, tells him to go neutral. On the restart, nice arm drag attempt though by Liam Lepp, timed that up nicely as Lions was going back in for the head tap. So just trying to use that head tap motion against him, and Lions able to readjust after that. Snatches that double leg, snatches the takedown away from Liam Lepp. So Keenan Gores, another major decision win for Northern Lights, puts Northern Lights up 8-0 in that duel. Another semifinal duel. They're going into 121 pounds. We're still at 121 in the third period. So Gores with the win by major decision, 8-0. Here's Grayson Lions and Lepp. Lepp still up on his feet. Up over the top of Lions. Lions with the 3-0 lead. Wrestlers hand fighting. Lepp with his back to the edge of the mat once again. Lions drops down, doubles up, goes forklift position on Lepp. Lepp trying to pass the leg. Lions catches him again on his hip. Just didn't turn the corner. Now Lions snatches the ankle on Lepp. Going to go half Nelson. Lions has the 5-0 lead. Works the half Nelson on the far side. Lepp with the wing and down, keeps that head buried down in the mat here. Doesn't want to give up the fall. I'm sure coach says, hey, don't give up the pin in this period. He's going down, wing and down on the edge of the mat here with the Lions. Lions has the 5-0 lead. Now with 30 seconds remaining, Lepp just holding on. A stall warning issued by the official. And Lions in Lepp now. The Lions drops down to the leg. 20 seconds remaining. Lions returns Lepp back down to the mat, edge of the mat. Lions and Lepp going at it. Lions going to try to chin drop Lepp on the edge with 12 seconds remaining. And they roll out of bounds for a restart. 5-0 is your score with 8 seconds in the third period. Broncos lead 6-3. Here's Velva, Northern Lights. Velva with the pin at 121 pounds. Back in this duel now that Northern Lights still leads 8-6. Win by decision for Grayson Lions. Lions with 3 points on the board for the Broncos. Broncos with the 9-3 lead. Broncos will have to withstand that solid lineup at the top of the lineup for the South Border Mustangs. Mustangs gets things rolling after 172 pounds. They're as tough as anybody, if not the best in the state. And now Wadeson going out there for the Broncos. Cash Wadeson, returning state champion, or should say state champion for the Broncos at 127 pounds. Just a Brody Michelson So Waitson and Michael going at it. Broncos up in that Tim Kazed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboards. Waitson into Michelson, takes him down, rolls him over on his hip. Now Michelson gets belly down with Waitson. Has cousin Jet Waitson for wrestling for West Fargo Cheyenne out on the mat in the semifinals at 127 pounds. So Jet Waitson out wrestling for West Fargo Cheyenne. Cashton Waitson, the state champion for the Lisbon Broncos. His cousin out here at mat 7, wrestling in the semifinals for the Lisbon Broncos. Waitson with the 2-0 lead. Michelson sits out. Peels the half Nelson off of Waitson. A minute 16 on the clock. And Waitson's going to let Michelson go. Michelson stands up, waits and shoots in. Michelson to his edge, back to the edge of the mat. They roll out of bounds for a restart. 2-1's your score. Cash Waitson and Brody Michelson. Michelson shoots underneath Waitson. Up over the top here. He's going to try to chin whip Waitson here with Michelson in deep on a single leg attempt on Waitson. Waitson cracks down Michelson to his hip. And headlock here from Waitson on the edge of the mat. Has Michelson rolling over to his back. Michelson rolls through. Waitson back on top. And bowls over Brody Michelson. Now back in command here. Just get Waitson on Michelson. Waitson smothers over the top, working for the fall with 34 seconds remaining in the first period. Cash Waitson trying to pick up more bonus points for the Broncos. Now with 28 seconds on the clock, he's going to squeeze on Michelson. Michelson still trying to roll Waitson through. Waitson settles in. Michelson still bridging. Waitson and Michelson here with 17 seconds on the pin for Cash Waitson over Brody Michelson. At 127 pounds, Broncos up 15-3 in the duel. The Broncos stringing together bonus point wins. Now 3 wins in a row. A duel not over by any means now with 15-3 lead for the Broncos. Noah Anderson, Tristan Lepp. One of those matches that could go either way. Anderson coming out in the consolation semifinals with the win over Tristan Lepp. Lepp, explosive wrestler. Anything can happen here in this match at 133 pounds. Anderson, third place state finisher for the Broncos. Your Raider Barstead, Braylon Herman battling out. 8-6 is your dual score between Velva and Northern Lights on your Tim Kazed Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard. Northern Lights with the lead, 8-6. Raider Barstead, Braylon Herman wrestling at 127 pounds. They're tied up at 2 apiece in the second period. 56 seconds on the clock. And potentially dangerous restart back over there on mat number 8 between Barstead and Herman. And Anderson and Lepp tied back up. Working the center of the mat, just hand fighting, working through the head-hand defense in the first period, down to minute 10. On the clock in the first period. Oh, Herman and Barstead still tied up at 2 apiece at 127 pounds on mat 8. Now Lepp commits into a single leg shot on Anderson. Anderson snaps down Lepp. Lepp back up to his feet. Here Anderson and Lepp going at it now, working overties. Hand fighting head to head. Back to the center mat, down to 20 seconds remaining in the first period. Little level change by Lepp. Anderson holds his position. And final 5 seconds of the first period. Neither wrestler committing in that first period. One leg attack by Tristan Lepp and a little snap down by Anderson put a stop to that. 15-3 is your dual scored on your Tim Kazed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. Anderson in that southeast sub-region with the last second come from behind win on Tristan Lepp. Has sealed the win for the Broncos in that duel. Broncos won that 31-30. Now battling out here Lepp traps the arm of Anderson. Anderson's going to roll him over. Catches Anderson on his back. Anderson has to roll out here. And back and forth. So back and forth here for Anderson. Lepp keeps it. Going to head low over on Anderson once again. Anderson rolls through. Anderson has to break that chop and purchase by Lepp. Now finally reaches underneath, digs it out. No near fall awarded. Coach Hoffman wanting the near fall. Lepp with a lot of pressure on top of Anderson now with the minute 19. Has the armbar locked up on Anderson. Anderson's going to try to sit up in with a swipe of the hand. Another swipe. Now Anderson and Lepp here. No near fall awarded. Another swipe. Lepp with a lot of pressure on Anderson on that arm. Anderson not much of an answer from the bottom position. Down to 56 seconds on the clock. Anderson finally stands up, faces Lepp. Lepp goes, drops down the leg on Anderson. Anderson going to try to hold his position. Whizzes into Lepp on the edge of the mat. Lepp breaks Anderson back down to 43 seconds. Getting the right out here. A lot of pressure by Lepp. Doing a good job on top to keep Anderson. Now Anderson going to turn the corner, catches Lepp on his hip. Works towards the head. Anderson still trying to work up on Lepp. Lepp down, cracked down in the mat. Anderson has to watch out for his leg. And a potentially dangerous call. Potentially dangerous call. No loss of control. Anderson was just turning the corner, had Lepp in some trouble in the bottom position. Still scoreless. Great attack on the top by Tristan Lepp. Anderson tripods up past 20 seconds as Lepp sticks in the leg on Anderson. Tristan Lepp going to try to get the right out here. Down to 12 seconds remaining in this second period. Tristan Lepp with the right out. Down to 5 seconds on Anderson. Anderson chose bottom position, not able to get away. And after the pitters, we're going scoreless between Tristan Lepp and Noah Anderson. Lepp choosing bottom position. And at the start of the second period between Anderson and Lepp, we're down and scoreless in the third period. Minute 54 on the clock. Anderson working over the top. Lepp trying to isolate that wrist over the top. Anderson with the back ankle spike. Now Anderson working underneath. Lepp hits a nice sit out. Anderson with the chin drop on Lepp. Turns him over, puts him to his back. Now Lepp back out the door. 2 points. So we're tied up at 2. 2-point reversal. Lepp back working that chop and purchase as they roll out of bounds. So we're tied up at 2 apiece between Tristan Lepp and Noah Anderson. Anderson caught Lepp in a little chin drop. Chin whipped him down. Lepp able to scoot back outside. Gets around behind Anderson. Now we're tied up at 2 apiece. Minute 28 on the clock. They're throwing haymakers over between Northern Lights and Velva. Another win for Northern Lights over the Aggies. Anderson stands up, hip heists into Lepp. Lepp takes him back down to minute 14 on the clock. Anderson's got to get off his hip, though. Down on his hip with Lepp. Anderson stands back up. Lepp traps the arm on Anderson. Anderson back up. Lepp works up on Anderson down to 59 seconds in the period. The leg ride spladle attempt by Lepp. Lepp's going spladle. Anderson shakes Lepp off, gets him over. Going to try to step around here with 45 seconds on the clock here for Tristan Lepp. Anderson with the reversal. Has the crossfake hooked up on Lepp. Has the back leg caught. Here's Tristan Lepp in a fresh restart. 4-2 lead for Anderson on Lepp. 4-2 is your score. 35 seconds on the clock. Lepp a little slow to get up. Has to readjust his headgear. Going to take his time, catch his breath. 4-2 lead for Noah Anderson. I think Anderson might get out of this one. I won't say a gift from the officials, but those that near fall attempt in the second period by Tristan Lepp. And now Northern Lights back up. A pin by Alvy Henderson. Henderson, bad knee, head all taped up, looking like the warrior that he is with the win by fall. Big lead for Northern Lights over the Velva Aggies. And here's Anderson trying to get the right out here in this final period or final 20 seconds with Lepp. Lepp stands up, trying to tripod up, down to 15 seconds. Here's Lepp up on his feet with Anderson. Anderson with the mat return. Going to go 2-on-1, down to 5 seconds. Anderson drops down to the leg on Lepp. Warrant for stalling. 4-2 is your score. Lepp up over the top on Anderson. Anderson trying to turn the corner, and that's it on the clock. Anderson with the win by decision. 18-3 is your dual score on your Tim Kazet Golden Harvest Seat Sale scoreboard. You're at a 139 pounds. So 139, we have Vetter going out. So Riker Vetter going onto the mat, going up against Gabe Gruba for the Lisbon Broncos. Vetter out right away. 8th place state finisher with the fireman's carry on Gruba. Throws him down to the mat here in the first period. Minute 51 on the clock. Vetter going to work for a quick pin on Gruba. Goes leg right. Gruba sits out. Vetter takes him over to the mat. Onto his back, working for the fall is Riker Vetter. Gruba just trying to elevate up here with Vetter. He doesn't give up the near fall. Vetter still with the cradle locked up on Gabe Gruba. So 3 near fall. And another cradle locked up by Riker Vetter. Vetter and Gruba. Now Gruba rolls over on Riker Vetter, catches him. Vetter able to get back to his base. Gonna roll back through on Gruba. Has a Peterson locked up on the edge of the mat, working for the fall. Vetter rolls through here. Gruba's gonna go out of bounds. And Riker Vetter racking up the points. 11-0 is your score. So he just kept on picking up near fall. 11-0 is your score between Riker Vetter and Gabe Gruba. Broncos without Ryan Eng. Eng hurt in the individual side, tore his knee up. So not in the lineup. And a stall warning now on Gabe Gruba. So quick stall warning issued out by the official in the first period. Here's Riker Vetter. A lot of pressure on top, working the arm of Gruba. 11-0 is your score in the first period. Down to 26 seconds on the clock. Vetter working for the pin. Has the armbar locked up on Gruba. That arm exceeds the 45. Had it exceeding up over the shoulder blade, but no call by the official. Now Vetter goes back across the back, down to 10 seconds remaining in the first period. 11-0 lead for Riker Vetter. And Northern Lights with the 17-6 lead at 139 pounds. Brexton Yanish out of the mat, wrestling Justin Hudson. Hudson with a 2-0 lead. So Vetter with choice. He's going to choose top position here with Gabe Gruba. And off the whistle, Riker Vetter going armbar, and Gruba goes bar half. Gruba just trying to wing down. Now locks the half. Nelson up, catches the arm on Gruba. Gruba going to try to roll through, gets back. Vetter with another spin around the head. Catches the arm of Gruba, puts a lot of pressure on the arm of Gabe Gruba. Going to scoop the head here. Gruba on his hip. Now going to pick up the near fall. In goes Saturday Night Ride on Gabe Gruba, and the win by fall at 139 pounds. So Riker Vetter over Gabe Gruba at 139. And now Glaceman going out at 145. So Glaceman and Jordan Dick wrestling here at 145 pounds. The Southporter back in the duel now. 18-9 is your score. So here, 145. Carson Glaceman, Jordan Dick out. And right away, Glaceman in on a double leg shot on Jordan. Takes him down to the mat. 2-point takedown for Glaceman. Carson Glazeman, a senior. Broncos up by 9 in the duel. Broncos had strung together 4 straight wins at 114, 121, 27, and 33. And now Jordan Dick trying to explode up there. Glazeman catches the arm of Jordan. Jordan working hands underneath, stands up here on Glazeman on the edge of mat. Minute 32 on the clock. Jordan still trying to work an escape or reversal on the edge as they go out of bounds. Back for a restart. 2-0 is your score. Carson Glazeman leads that one. Braxton Yanderson, Justin Hudson. Yanish kind of hip heists back around. Hudson's going to return him back down. Yanish onto his feet. Finally drops Braxton Yanish down to his hip. That's on mat number 8 here, 139 pounds. Semifinal duel between Northern Lights and Velva Aggies. And a minute in the first period still on the clock. You're at 145 pounds between Lisbon and Southport. Glazeman working a crossface cradle on Jordan Dick at 145. There, Jordan tries to straighten out that far leg, trying to pass the wrist of Glazeman and scoot those hips out. Does get his hips squared away, but Glazeman back around, scoots back around, working the crossface. 42 seconds remaining on the clock. That's in the first period. Dick stands up now, 1 point escape, 2-1's your score. And hits a little slide by on Glazeman. Glazeman runs out of bounds, back for the restart. 2-1 lead for Carson Glazeman on Jordan Dick. And Glazeman drops down. Little snap down at Jordan, spins around behind him, 2-point takedown, goes crossface, going to try to work back underneath. Catches the far wrist. 4-1's your lead for Carson Glazeman over Jordan Dick now, 4-1 with 10 seconds on the clock in the first period. Hey, Jordan still with that wrist, just trying to pass it over and get a little bit of separation. Glazeman going to work, trying to split the legs, and Jordan Dick belly down. And going into the second period, 4-1 lead for Carson Glazeman, the Southport here in their semifinal duel. That's on mat 8, mat 7 now. Mat 8, Braxton Yanish, Judson Hudson. Hudson up 5-0 over Yanish. And that Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. 17-6 lead for Northern Lights. Another 2-point takedown for Glazeman. He's up 6-1 on Jordan Dick at the start of the second period. Minute 45 on the clock. Jordan back up to Glazeman with a hard crossface over the top. And now Glazeman's going to let Jordan up. Wants him to go back to his feet. 6-2 is your score. Jordan's going to in on a takedown attempt. Glazeman just snaps Jordan here. Now Jordan and Glazeman going back up to the feet. 8-3 is your score. Glazeman backing on the takedown on Jordan Dick as Jordan hits the front headlock with the shuck just out of bounds on Glazeman. Glazeman was going into Jordan pretty hard, used that momentum against him. And that does it in that match. That looks like a win for Justin Hudson by injury default on a Break North timeout. And that was on mat 8. So Braxton Yanish with some injury time with an injury on mat 8. Here's Carson Hildry, state champion, out for the Velva Aggies. Trying to turn things around, right the ship for the Velva Aggies. They're down 23-6 at 145 pounds. Broncos at 145. They're up 18-9 on the Southport Mustangs on your Golden Harvest Tim Kajed Seed Sale scoreboard. And Glazeman's up 10-4 on Jordan Dick. Now another point awarded. 11-4. Glazeman's up by 7 here in the second period. 21 seconds on the clock. Glazeman again. Jordan's going to snap a front headlock. Circles back around on Glazeman. Glazeman working underneath on Jordan. Now with 12 seconds on the clock. Glazeman with the 7-point lead. Jordan goes in for the front headlock. Down to 9 seconds on the clock. Glazeman going in on Jordan. Jordan goes to the front headlock. Glaceman doubles up on the edge of the mat. As time expires in the third period, 11-4 is your score. Jordan picks the top position. Picking the top position on Glaceman. Not sure I wouldn't pick bottom there. Glaceman not able to turn Jordan, but he's going to go top to start because Jordan needs that point here to keep this decision or keep this win only to a decision here. Glaceman, he has to return him a potentially dangerous call. 11-4 is your score on the restart. 8 seconds on the clock, or 8 seconds off the clock. Minute 52 to go in the second period. Glaceman stands up. Jordan already called with a stall warning. Has to let Glaceman go. Now win for major decision win for Carson Glaceman. He's up 12-4. Minute 41. Glaceman back in on the leg of Jordan. Has it doubled up. Jordan has to go north-south. Grabs onto the body of Glaceman. Going to try to scissors ahead and squeeze as a minute 27 remaining in the third period between Carson Glaceman and Jordan Dick. Glaceman with a 13-4 lead, up by 9 points. And Bank North blood timeout. That's on mat number 7. Bank North, they take community to heart, helping their customers achieve their financial goals while supporting and improving the great rural communities we serve. They're more than just a bank. Bank North is a community partner you can always count on. It's values-based banking. To learn more, visit ibanknorth.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. And Jordan almost able to turn the corner on Glaceman. 13-4 lead as the action resumes on mat number 7. And here's Glaceman in on another single-leg attempt on Jordan on the edge of the mat. Jordan Dick going to try to hip toss. Now Glaceman with another 2-point takedown. 15-4 is the score with a minute remaining in the third period. And a 1-point escape. 15-5 is the score. Jordan and Carson Glaceman going at it. Over tie by Glaceman. Jordan Dick goes collar tie. Glaceman's working, keeping the high op tempo in this match. Eventually going to wear down now. Jordan Dick and Glaceman on the edge of the mat. And wrestlers go out of bounds for a restart. 43 seconds on the clock. Still up by 10 here. Carson Glaceman over Jordan Dick. Looking for the bonus point win. Just kind of depends on what it will be. He has a 10-point lead in the third period. Down to 30 seconds. Snaps down on Jordan. Going to try to turn the corner. Takes Jordan Dick down to his hip. Another 2-point takedown down to 30 seconds remaining. Score is 17-5. Going to go half Nelson over the top on Jordan. Down to 20 seconds. Going to run the half. Jordan trying to keep that head up. Down to 15 seconds. Goes crossface for Glaceman. Jordan Dick's going to hang on to the wrist. Passes it back over his head here. Glaceman and Jordan Dick down to 5 seconds. 17-5. 12-point lead for Carson Glaceman. Is going to try to walk this armbar around. Time expires. 17-5 is the score at the end of the 145-pound match. 18-13 our dual score here for Broncos and the South Border Mustangs. Blaze Ranke, rematch of our state championship at 152 pounds between Ranke and Hoffman. Match consistently closer and closer every time they go out. We'll see if these wrestlers open up for this duel. So 18-13 is our score here for Ranke and Hoffman. Snap down by Ranke. He goes inside cradle, doubles up on Hoffman on the edge of the mat. Hoffman spins back around on Ranke. And Ranke goes into Hoffman. Still 18-13, no score. Minute 40 on the clock. Hoffman, little knee pick on Ranke. Ranke snaps down, little sprawl. Minute 32 now, 18-13 on the Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard is your dual score. We're scoreless in the first period. Minute 25 on the clock, 152 pounds between Ranke and Hoffman. Here's Madden Barstead, Haviland DeLong Madden Barstead and DeLong. DeLong is up 4-0 on Madden Barstead. 23-12 your dual score. They're at 152 pounds. Here's Hoffman and Ranke. Hoffman with the double overs on, or Ranke with the double overs. Now goes headlock on Hoffman. Hoffman steps back around, down to 52 seconds in the first period. Wrestlers out of bounds. So Ranke trying to open up on Hoffman with the attacks, going to the legs and the head. Hoffman blocking, looking to counter. Ranke trying to pass the elbow. Hoffman backs up, just holding position on Ranke. And down to 35 seconds remaining in the first period. And Ranke drops down, single leg shot on Hoffman, takes Hoffman down to his hip. Ranke explodes here at the end of the period, gets the 2-point takedown. So Ranke goes up 2-0. Hoffman tries to roll through. Ranke catches the wrist on Hoffman. Gonna tilt him over here, gonna expose the back. No near fall, down to 3 seconds in the period. And 2-0 lead for Blaze Ranke over Brody Hoffman. 18-13 dual score. So Hoffman chooses bottom position to start. 2-0 lead for Blaze Ranke going into the second period. And off the whistle, first 5 seconds, Hoffman kind of hunkers down in the center of the mat. Ranke is going to work on top, has the back ankle spike. Hoffman blocking Ranke, ducks underneath, has the ball and chain hooked up here. Going to try to dig out this arm or elbow of Hoffman. Hoffman head hunkered down in the mat. Ranke just trying to work underneath on Hoffman. So Hoffman just holding his base. Ranke still going back to work. Now Hoffman able to go up over the arm here. Ranke grabs the wrist of Brody Hoffman. Just when it looked like Hoffman was going to kind of take charge and roll Ranke through. Blaze Ranke gets back on top of Brody Hoffman. Still 2-0 your score. 18-13 dual score. Tim Kazed Golden Harvest seed sale scoreboard. Match between Barstead and DeLong. 6-2 or 6-3 is the score. Barstead mounting a comeback in the third period. Final 5 seconds ticking off the clock. And looks like Haviland DeLong will pick up the win for Northern Lights. Another win by decision for Northern Lights. 6-3 for Haviland DeLong. Northern Lights still in the lead. And Ranke and Hoffman still battling out under 45 seconds now on the clock in the second period. Hoffman had choice in the bottom position. Ranke goes crossface on Hoffman. Goes power half up over the top, has the leg right on the far side. Now Ranke trying to work a spladle. Hoffman back to hunkering down in the mat, keeps the head down. Ranke's going to go up over the top, has Hoffman going over, picks up the ball and chain tilt on Hoffman. Hoffman back, belly down. Ranke now goes armbar on the far side. Final 10 seconds of the period. And potentially dangerous called. Final 5 seconds of the period. Second period, 2-0 lead for Blaze Ranke. And on the restart, Hoffman with the Granby roll through, tried to get on top of Ranke at the end of the period. Ranke hangs onto the leg, spins back around here. No points awarded to Hoffman. So good explosive move at the end of the period. There's Ranke off the whistle. Hoffman's going to reach underneath, cross. Going to hit the claw as Ranke steps away for the 1-point escape. 3-0 lead for Blaze Ranke, down to minute 45 in the third period. Ranke snaps down on Hoffman. A repeat performance of our state championship match at 152 pounds between Blaze Ranke and Brody Hoffman. Ranke in on another single leg. Doubles up here on the edge of the mat with Brody Hoffman. Hoffman trying to scoot off. Ranke trying to pull Hoffman back on here, edge of the mat. Ranke still with his knees in bounce here with Hoffman. And Ranke Hopping with the quarter splits, and no takedown awarded for Blaze Ranke. 3-0 score. Blaze Ranke up over Brody. Hopping back for the restart in the center of the mat. Here, Noel Werner, Lane Zupan out. Werner with the 5-0 lead for Velva. Hits his half Nelson on Zupan, rolls him over, working for the fall, trying to get Velva back in the duel. And a win by fall for Noel Werner over Lane Zupan. And Ranke in, going to cradle up Hoffman. Over the head, 2-point takedown for Blaze Ranke. Down to 50 seconds on the clock. Ranke and Hoffman. Ranke's going to try to roll Hoffman down. Ranke just a little bit high. Goes to work underneath. 5-0 lead for Blaze Ranke. Down to 39 seconds on the clock. Still in the third period. And Ranke's going to cut Hoffman loose. 5-1 lead. Ranke and Hoffman. Hoffman shoots in on Ranke. Sprawls back. Down to 25 seconds. Ranke takes a look at the clock. 20 seconds remaining. 5-1 lead for Blaze Ranke. Ranke tries to hit a super duck. Little slide by Hoffman. 5-1 score. Wrestling that edge of the mat by the scorers table. 10 seconds on the clock. Ranke stands up. Final 10 seconds. Now 9. Ranke and Hoffman. Ranke's just going to dance away here. Final 5 seconds. And that does it. Blaze Ranke with your win by decision over Brody Hoffman. 5-1. Broncos with the 21-13 lead. And now a 160-pound match. So 160, Cole Stock, Eli Lyons step out on the match. This one always explosive between Stock and Lyons. One of the best weight classes in the state, Class B. 160-pound wrestlers. Arms and elbows flying all over the place at 160 pounds. Here's Cole Stock, Eli Lyons. Eli Lyons got the best of Stock. In the last 10 seconds of that duel, Southeast Sub-Region duel. Stock going to try to turn the corner on Lyons. Now goes in on the edge of the mat. And we're scoreless. First 30 seconds scoreless in the first period. And Lyons and Stock now. Lyons, Stock working the Russian tie, 2-on-1. Tried to drag Lyons down. That's his go-to move. Hits the outside single. And down to a minute in the first period. Lyons up over the top on Stock. Going to go double overs on the edge of the mat. Lyons trying to pummel in. Stock working underneath. They go out of bounds. Back down to 53 seconds remaining in the period. And down now 34 seconds here. Lyons and Stock. Stock with the underhook on Lyons. Just hand fighting here. Lyons going into Stock. Still doing some hand fighting. Lyons trying to drag Stock down edge of the mat there. As they roll into the scores table. Stock reshoots Lyons with the front headlock over the top. 15 seconds remaining in the period. Wrestlers out of bounds. And Belvaege's getting back into this duel. Kelson Maskell, Trey Leducer. Maskell up over the top, working for the fall with the minute on the clock in the second period. Here's Maskell working for the fall on Trey Leducer. Down to 2 seconds. Stock shoots in on Lyons. And no score at the end of the period. So we're still scoreless going into the second here with Stock and Lyons. And Lake North blood timeout. On mat number 7 between Eli Lyons and Cole Stock. That's a pin for Kelson Maskell over Trey Leducer. Belvaege's back in this duel at 189 pounds. 24-26 is the duel score. So Belva back in it. And Northern Lights tough on the top weights now with Cole Henderson on the mat. Junior, 36-1 record. He's out on mat number 8, wrestling Lucas Eber of Velva. Stock with the single leg shot on Lyons. Lyons at the edge of the mat, runs him out of bounds. So still scoreless here. Lyons should say in the bottom position, down to a minute 46 on the clock, start of the second period. Lions trying to stand up, get stood up now with Cole Stock. Still 21-32 or 21-13. Our Bank North Golden Harvest Kim Chu seed sale scoreboard. Here's Henderson working for the fall, has the armbar locked up on Lucas Sieber of Velva. Wrestlers go out of bounds between Stock and Lions. In the second period, minute 19 on the clock. Lions with the 1-0 lead. Cole Henderson working for the fall on mat number 8, 189 pounds, has the double arm bars, double winged out in the backside, and win by fall for Cole Henderson. Northern Lights answers back, 32-24 that dual score. 215 in heavyweight remaining. In that duel, 32-24. This could decide that duel between Northern Lights and Velva. Northern Lights with the lead, 32-24. There's Broncos and South Border. 21-13 Tim Kazed, Golden Harvest seed sale scoreboard. Lions in the check out by Cole Stock on the edge of the mat. Lions with the 1-0 lead, 30 seconds on the clock. The wrestlers tough on their feet. Exchanges and attacks back and forth between the Eli Lions and Cole Stock. Lions drops down, little ankle pick or say knee pick on Stock. Lions goes back, double over. Stock backs out of bounce again. So Lions goes back into Stock. Stock on the edge of the mat, out of bounds, down to 5 seconds remaining in the second period. And 1-0 is your score going into the third period. So Cole Stock chooses bottom position. Lions with the 1-0 lead on Cole Stock. Broncos on the Golden Harvest Kim Kazid seat sale scoreboard. 21-13 is the score. Stock stands up. Lions trying to return him to the mat. Takes Cole Stock down, working an arm bar. The muscle man Cole Stock back up to his base. So still 1-0, 20 seconds off that clock in the third period, down to now a minute 35. Lions working that far arm, near arm I should say, trying to chop it on Stock. Stock trying to base up. Lions hits the arm bar. Stock trying to knee slide out of bounds. He's right on the edge of the mat here. Lions trying to pull him back on. Lions goes back around. Stock rolls out, back for a fresh restart. So Stock, mat awareness, realized where he was at, minute 21 on the clock with the Lions. Lions just trying to pull him back on. 21-13 is the dual score. 1-0 lead for Lions. Off the whistle, chops the arm on Cole Stock. Has it hooked up, so has the chop and purchase chicken wing hooked up on Cole Stock. Going to tilt Stock over. Lions going to pick up near fall on Cole Stock. And no near fall award. They're going to try to run this around. Muscle man Cole Stock going to push up with the free arm. Lions still has the arm bar locked up. Stock going to try to muscle out of it on the far side. Lions still with the arm bar, down to 45 seconds remaining. Still 1-0 lead for Lions. No near fall given up by Lions. Lions trying to mat return Stock. Big mat return, slam Stock down to the mat here. 1-0 lead for Eli Lions. 35 seconds on the clock. Cole Stock going to try to sit out. Knee slides up. Down to 30 seconds. Lions still working over the top on Stock. Goes back underneath. Lions going to spike the back ankle as Stock tries to pass the wrist. Stock with one last attempt. Now stalling on Green. 1 point for Lions. Lions goes up 2-0. Final 10 seconds. Lions back with the armbar, Stock with the knee slide on the edge of the mat, down to 5 seconds remaining. And that does it. Lions with the win by decision over Cole Stock. Broncos 24-13. Oh, Mike Nelson steps on the mat. So Mike Nelson and Jace Nitschke one more time this year here in the semifinals of the North Dakota Class B dual championships. And Nelson and Nitschke out there, 24-13. Tim Kujed Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard lead for the Broncos. 32-24 is your dual score between Northern Lights and Velva. And they're at 215 pounds. Broncos in South Border at 172. And Nelson Nitschke still scoreless in the first period, down to 55 seconds remaining. The wrestlers just holding the center of the mat, trading collar ties, working through head and hands defense between the two wrestlers. Nitschke getting the best of Nelson last time out in the semifinals. The state Class B on the individual side, making it into the state championship match. Jace Nitschke went down to Drew Zwack in sudden victory overtime. Nelson taking third place at 172. Here's Jaden Foss John Leonard rolls over Jaden Foss, trying to work for the foul at the end of the second period. Foss rolls through on Leonard. Gets back to his base. So Foss and Leonard fighting it out at 215 pounds. 32-24, Northern Lights leads the duel. That score 3-0. So John Leonard's up 3-0 on Jaden Foss. End of the first period, Mike Nelson and Jace Nitschke, 1-0 lead for Nitschke. He stands up first 5 seconds of the second period. Nitschke's knee slide, little arm drag down. Nelson with the three shot. Snap down by Nelson. Nelson working under, trying to isolate that right arm of Nitschke. Now goes ahead, that double leg shot by Nelson. Nitschke blocks him out. 1-0 lead for Jace Nitschke. Minute 12 on the clock. Nitschke knee slides into Nelson. Nelson passes the wrist here, trying to turn the corner. Nitschke with the head position, able to keep Nelson out from getting to the inside, getting down to that leg. Nelson and Nitschke. Nelson caught Nitschke going down. 2-point takedown for Mike Nelson. He takes the 2-1 lead in the second period. So Nelson goes up 2-1, catches Nitschke. Nitschke back up to feet, now tied up at 2 apiece. Down to 35 seconds on the clock. We're tied up at 2. 1-point escape for Jace Nitschke. And down to 20 seconds on the clock. Second period here for Mike Nelson, Jace Nitschke tied up at 2 apiece. Here's Nelson with the stand-up, takes the 3-2 lead in the third period, minute 53 on the clock. Nelson double leg, single leg shot on Nitschke. Nitschke trying to whiz her down there on the edge of the mat. Nelson steps back around behind the leg of Nitschke. And Nelson now working the hip and the back ankle. Nitschke on the edge of the mat. Nelson trying to keep his feet in bounce, and they're called out just as Nelson was turning the corner on Jace Nitschke. Called out of bounds, minute 32 on the clock. Nelson is up 5-2. They did give Nelson the takedown. Now Nelson with some blood time. Bank North blood time out. And we are a Bank North blood time out. Going over to our match, Jaden Foss and John Leonard. 3-0 lead for John Leonard over Jaden Foss. That's in the third period. 30 seconds on the clock. This could seal the win. The dual win for Northern Lights. Trying to make it into the championship match over the number 1 seeded Velva Aggies. Here on the restart, Nelson with the 5-2 lead on Jace Nitschke. Nelson returns Nitschke down to the mat. Nitschke trying to hip heist out now, minute 23 in the third period. Nelson lets Nitschke go. 5-3 is your score. Nitschke needs a takedown to tie it up. And now, Northern Lights John Leonard, 5-1's your score. And Northern Lights will advance to the championship duel with that win on mat number 8. Class B semifinal matchup between Velva and Northern Lights. Number 4, Northern Lights defeats and upsets number 1 seeded Velva Aggies. Here's Nelson and Nitschke. Nelson with the 5-3 lead. Down to 43 seconds on the clock. Now 42. And final 20 seconds on the clock. Jace Nitschke still needs a 2-point takedown. Nelson with the slide by. Down to 14 seconds here between Nitschke and Nelson. Down to now 8 seconds. Nelson just has to stay clear of Jace Nitschke now. 5-3 is your score. And Nelson with the win by decision over Jace Nitschke at the end of the match. Nelson wins 5-3. Takes that last battle with Jace Nitschke. So now 27-13 is our dual score. It's going to come down here, that heart of the lineup for South Border. They're at 189 pounds. They send out state place winner Daniel Schumacher against Madden Schwab, the 8th grader. So senior against the 8th grader. Broncos on that Golden Harvest Tim Kajed seed sale scoreboard. 27-13 is the dual score. Broncos with the lead. South Border with their big guns out on the mat now with Daniel Schumacher and Madden Schwab. Schumacher goes right into Schwab, working inside, sticks that head down into his shoulder. Pushing Schwab around. Schwab with the overtie. Schumacher goes in. Schwab catches the far arm of Schumacher on the edge of the mat here. Schumacher and Schwab go out of bounds. Back for the restart. Minute 32 on the clock in the first period. 27-13 is our dual score. Schumacher shoots in, doubles up on Schwab. Takes Schwab down, has him on his hip. Catches the leg on Mad Schwab. Schumacher going to try to get a few more out of this. Works his way up now. 2-0 lead for Daniel Schumacher. Minute 12 on the clock. And Schumacher working up over the top. On Schwab, has him broke belly down. Minute on the clock in the first period. And Schwab already warned with stalling. So now we're handing out stall warnings early. So Schwab warned with stallings. 50 seconds on the clock. And Schumacher had just secured the takedown. Now it rolls back over, secures the cradle. So Daniel Schumacher working for the fall on Madden Schwab. Has him locked down, tightens it up. Schwab trying to bridge out with 35 seconds remaining on the clock. Here's Schwab and Schumacher in the win by fall for Daniel Schumacher. 27-19 is our dual score. So 27-19. And going into 215 pounds. And now Cole Nitschke steps out on the mat at 215, 27-19. Our final two matches. Winner of this faces Northern Lights in the state championship dual tournament. Non-winners drop down. They'll wrestle for third place. And those placing round matches coming up after the conclusion of this round. Here's Nitschke and Anderson. Nitschke with the single leg shot on Anderson's going to pull it in. Anderson up over the top, has the back ankle of Nitschke. Down to a minute 24 on the clock. And Nitschke working on the inside leg on Anderson. Anderson kind of gut wrenched up over the top with the hip whizzer. And they break apart here. They're scoreless in the first period. Minute 13 on the clock, 27-19 is the score. And your Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. That's the dual score, 27-19. Minute on the clock in the first period. Here's Anderson and Nitschke in the first period, 45 seconds on the clock. Nicole Nitschke, state place winner, first state tournament at 285 pounds. They're following in the footsteps of brother Schneid and their first varsity experience or varsity lineup, starting lineup at heavyweight. Well, here's Nitschke and Anderson now, 15 seconds on the clock. Then the first period, little slide by attempt by Nitschke. You're at 215 pounds against Drew Anderson. Nicole Nitschke drops down to one knee. Down to 2 seconds on the clock as they go into the second period between Cole Nitschke and Drew Anderson. So Cole Nitschke defers over to Anderson. Anderson chooses both up. Neutral position on the restart, or on the start of the second period. Here for Nitschke. It's Cole Nitschke, one of three brothers in the starting lineup for South Border. Cole Nitschke goes collar tie using those long arms, reaches out, snatches onto the neck and shoulders of Anderson. Anderson working head position on Nitschke, drops down, single leg shot, gets around behind Drew Anderson. So nice sweep single by Cole Nitschke, nice and smooth here. Anderson in the bottom position, get a double wing up on Nitschke. So Anderson just holding the bottom position, going to work up to his base. Here with Nitschke. Nitschke working up over the top. Minute 17 on the clock in the second period. Anderson had choice. He chose neutral. He's 2-0 your score in the match. And Anderson now scoots back up, gets base up. Nitschke working the arm, going to try to walk this around on Anderson. Now goes crossface on Drew Anderson. 54 seconds on the clock. Anderson trying to pass the wrist of Nitschke. Now gets back up to his base. 27-19 is our score. 40 seconds on the clock for Drew Anderson and Cole Nitschke. Down to 30 seconds. Here's Nitschke working over on the other side, warning for Drew Anderson for stalling. Now still trying to pass the wrist on Nitschke. Down to 20 seconds in the second period. 2-0 lead for Cole Nitschke. Anderson warned with stalling. Now Nitschke going to work on top, hit the crossface with 10 seconds remaining in the period. Going to try to Turk over Anderson on the edge of the mat. Anderson still holding on to Nitschke's arm here. 5 seconds on the clock. Yeah, and that does it. At the end of the second period, 27-19 is our score. Cole Nitschke has a choice. So 27-19 on the Tim Kazed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. Our dual score, 2-0 match score between Cole Nitschke and Drew Anderson. Anderson warned for stalling. Hunkers back down here. Nitschke's going to work up over the top of Anderson. Digs in, trying to dig this wrist out. So this duel will come down to the heavyweights. Anderson Warren once again. Now another point for Nitschke. Anderson's going to wing down on the arm of Cole Nitschke. Here's Cole Nitschke now here and Anderson. 1:23 on the clock. Cole Nitschke working up over the top. Anderson still hunkered down in the third period. 3-0 is your lead for Cole Nitschke over Drew Anderson. Nitschke trying to go hammerlock now, trying to hit a three-quarter Nelson. So Anderson warned again with stalling. Another point for Nitschke. 4-0 is the score. Minute on the clock. Next stall warning is a two-pointer. That put Cole Nitschke up 6-0. So Anderson still trying to get up to his base. Nitschke trying to dig out a hammerlock on Anderson. Anderson keeping his head buried down in the mat. Here Nitschke goes crossface. Now sinks in a half Nelson on the far side on Anderson. Runs it around the other way. Anderson trying to get up to his base. Nitschke going to try to run this around to the edge of the mat. Anderson hip heists in. Now 25 seconds on the clock. Another stall warning. Another point to Nitschke. He has the 6-0 lead on Drew Anderson. Down to 20 seconds on the clock. 6-0 lead for Nitschke. And Nitschke's going to try to go ball and chain on Anderson. They're on the edge of the mat with 15 seconds on the clock. Anderson trying to defend with Nitschke. Down to 8 seconds in the third period. And down to 5 as time expires in the third period. 6-0 is your score. So 6-0 win for Cole Nitschke over Drew Anderson. Here's Aiden Hinkle, wrestling state champion. Mr. Defensive Pin over there. And Shane Nitschke up here at heavyweight, 285 pounds. Broncos with the 5-point lead. It's going to come down to this one between Aiden Hinkle and Shane Nitschke. So he's the man you want on the mat if you're the South Florida Mustangs. Broncos with the 5-point lead. So Anderson goes in with Cole Nitschke. That's a win by decision for Cole Nitschke. Now a 5-point lead for the South Florida Mustangs. Hinkle has to survive 3 periods with the state champion. And right away, Nitschke goes in with the crossface. Picks a double leg up here. 27-22, Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. And Nitschke's going to work hammerlock. Has Hinkle going over. Rolls Hinkle over. Hinkle not able to bridge through here. Working for the fall and the win in the duel. 27-22 here for Shane Nitschke. And the win by fall in the South Florida Mustangs over the Lisbon Broncos. 28-27 in the duel. They'll advance to the state championship match. So that's your semifinal duel between the South Florida Mustangs and Lisbon Broncos. 28-27, South Florida defeats the Broncos. That's on your Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. Broncos will wrestle Velva for a third place. So that match just moments away, approaching the 2:30 hour. The state championship duel, that one is scheduled for 4 o'clock inside the Fargo Dome. So with that, we'll come back, we'll recap that duel, and then hand out our Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel and Precision Move, RDK Enterprises Precision Move of the Match here on YourLiveEvent.com.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsborough. You can see the latest inventory online at BloomfieldTrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsboro.
You can buy beef by the quarter, half or whole beef from Mueller Angus, USDA inspected beef. Fill the freezer. Call Dave Mueller at 701-799-3032. 701-799-3032 to purchase beef by the quarter, half or the whole from Mueller Angus, Hillsboro. You can buy beef by the quarter, half or whole beef from Mueller Angus, USDA inspected beef. Fill the freezer. Call Dave Mueller at 701-799-3032. 701-799-3032 to purchase beef by the quarter, half or the whole from Mueller Angus, Hillsboro.
If you're ready to save time, aggravation, and money, the team at Weber Insurance is here and ready to make the process as painless as possible. Weber Insurance makes sure you find the best insurance because their agency is 100% independent. They have the freedom to shop the marketplace and find the best possible combination of cost and coverage. Talk with Dan, Leslie, or Carol to get a quote started today, or go online to weberinsurance.net. Call, click, text, or stop in at Weber Insurance, locally owned in Castleton.
Since its beginning, the Central Cass Booster Club has generated and helped sustain fan interest in the men's and women's athletic programs at Central Cass High School. Through the years, that mission has broadened to also enhance the youth programs throughout the community. For more information, search Central Cass Booster Club on Facebook or email centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. That's centralcassboosterclub@gmail.com. Go Squirrels!
Hey, welcome back here to LoveEvent.com. That duel concluding between the Lisbon Broncos and the South Border Mustangs, semifinal round match, or duel between the Broncos and the Mustangs. South Border comes out on top of that one. 28-27 came down to the last match with the South Border Mustangs winning 28-27. I'm sitting here with Cashton Wadeson of the Lisbon Broncos. Cashton, you picked up the big win by fall over Brody Michelson at 127 pounds. What were your thoughts kind of going into this duel, and specifically that match, just as Cruise ranking Grayson Lyons picked up a couple wins for you in a row? What was your mindset going into that match at 127 pounds?
I knew we needed to get our lower weights fired up, so we needed to collect as many points as we can up or down low, just to get that lead. It's what we've done the last two times we dueled them, and it's worked. Just fell a little short up top, but I'm proud of everybody that's went out and wrestled in that duel.
Yeah, it was a good competitive duel between the Broncos and the Mustangs. Lisbon defeated South Border twice, early in the season after the Christmas break, and then at the Southeast Subregion Duel Tournament. This one, kind of, a similar duel. Just came down to the last match. Always exciting duel between the Broncos and the South Border Mustangs. Now, as you guys wrestle for the third place match, kind of looking ahead here, what are your thoughts going into the third place match with South Border, with the Valva Aggies? Aggies seeded number one. They're also upset by Northern Lights. So kind of what's the way ahead for the Lisbon Broncos going into the third place match?
We're just going to keep our heads held high and do what we do best, and that's wrestle. Just wrestle, I guess. That's all we can do.
Yep, come back, stay focused on the next duel. And also, Cashton, you were a state champion yesterday at 127 pounds, kind of fulfilling one of your goals, or probably one of your many goals with wrestling. So take us back to yesterday. How did all that go for you, and what are you going to take away from your state championship weekend here at the Fargo Dome?
Just going back through that match, there was nothing really getting in my way. That's been my goal since I was a little kid, and since I started wrestling was always to be at the top of the podium at state. And after not placing last year, it was a goal right then and there that nothing was going to get in my way. I wasn't leaving any room for any excuses, and just the drive to get there is incredible.
All right, folks, that's Cash Wadeson, your 127-pound state Class B champion here for the Lisbon Broncos. He has to go get ready for this next duel, third place duel, taking on the Velva Aggies, just moments away here on YourLoveEvent.com.
Central Cass School's mission is to foster student excellence in cooperation with family and community and to provide educational opportunities in a safe and caring environment. Thank you to everyone who has helped make this mission a reality. The STEM Center, Theater, Music Wing, Early Childhood Center, Wellness Center, and Athletic Complex will help set students up for success in school and life after graduation. They wish everyone at Central Cass good luck this year with academics and activities as you grow into the new space and move forward with excellence.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Hey, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com. Just closing out this duel between the Lisbon Broncos and South Border Mustangs. This duel opened up at 107 pounds. Ryland Vetter for South Border won by decision over Ian Anderson. That was a decision 7-2. 114 pounds. Cruz Ranke won by fall over Jared Schilling. Ranke aggressive with the headlock, head and arm. Able to roll over Schilling for the win by fall. Broncos took the lead at that point, 6-0. 121 pounds. Grayson Lyons over Liam Lepp by decision, 6-0. 127 pounds, Cashton Wadeson over Brody Michelson by fall, and 143, Noah Anderson over Tristan Lepp by decision, 4-2. And that was the 4 wins in a row by the Broncos after that win by Vetter at 107 pounds. Then Riker Vetter answers back with a pin of Greg Gruba at 234. Carson Glazeman defeated Jordan Dick by major decision, 17-5. Blaze Ranke over Brody Hoffman by decision, 5-1. 160 pounds, Eli Lyons over Cole Stock by decision, 2-0. And Mike Nelson over Jace Nitschke by decision, 5-3. Nelson get back at Nitschke during, for that semifinal loss. So Nelson with the win by decision. The Broncos in the duel had won 7 matches, won 7 of the 13 matches in the duel. 189, tough part of the lineup for the South Border Mustangs, as good as any teams in the state. Daniel Schumacher over Matt Schwab by fall in 131. Cole Nitschke over Drew Anderson by decision, 6-0, and Shane Nitschke over Aiden Hinkle by foul in 31 seconds. And that wraps up your duel score there, scoring 28-27 in favor of the South Border Mustangs. They roll on into the state championship duel against the Northern Lights. Broncos wrestle the Velva Aggies for 3rd place, and that's just moments away here on YourLiveEvent.com. Broncos back in, regrouping after that semifinal duel loss and wrestling for 3rd place. Go over your Enbridge Energy Wrestle of Duel and your Arctic Enterprises Precision Move of the Match. So I'm going to go through your Arctic Enterprises Precision Move of the Mat. That's out of Hillsborough and Drayton. For your precision planning updates and information or question, contact Arctic Enterprises in Hillsborough and Drayton at 701-636-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. And that's going to go out for me, for Drew Anderson for the Lisbon Broncos. Hey, Anderson went out there, knew what he had to do, and stayed off his back in that match at 215 pounds. Gave the Broncos a chance here into that tough heart of the South Border lineup. And he just dropped that match by decision at 215, 6-0 to Cole Nitschke. So Drew Anderson, recipient of your Arctic Enterprises Precision Move of the Map from Arctic Enterprises. And going with your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. So Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel, you're at 285 pounds, going out to Shane Nitschke, the returning state champion. Now a 2-time state champion for the South Border Mustangs, picking up the win by fall. Sealed the win for the South Border. Seems like it always comes down to the heavyweights. This time it did at the state wrestling tournament in the semifinals. South Border up over the Lisbon Broncos, 28-27. And Shane Nitschke, your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. Life takes energy from Enbridge. Energy for life at Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And that is your duel. We're going to get set to come back for our 3rd round placing duel between the Lisbon Broncos and the South Border Mustangs on YourLiveEvent.com.